What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with another video. WWE has officially returned to Riyadh with Night of Champions, promising major title matches, heated rivalries, and huge moments that have really shaped the road to SummerSlam. And boy, was it shocking. Join us now as we do a quick recap of Night of Champions, as well as the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. We also have some news as WWE was furious, a new Bloodline member incoming, and a wrestler passes away at 44. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos and follow us on our new Facebook page. Now, as always, we'll start off with the recap. As Night of Champions kicked off with the King of the Ring final as Femi battled JEY USO in a hard-hitting showdown. Femi's power constantly forced Uso to fight from behind, shutting down his early offense and cutting off two dives to the outside with a huge forearm before dominating the pace with punishing throws and strikes. Jay refused to stay down, escaping both a chokeslam and a fall from grace before firing back with kicks, uppercuts, super kicks, a spear, and multiple Uso splashes. You gotta hand it to Jay, he really gave Femi a run for his money. Or with momentum slipping away, Uso attempted to put Femi to sleep with a sleeper hold, the same one that he did with Gunther at WrestleMania 41, but Femi managed to power out, connected with a thunderous fall from grace and secured the victory to become the 2026 King of the Ring. The only thing is this win valid? Many have pointed out that Femi was striking his hand on the mat, pretty much tapping out to the sleeper hold. Many are calling this a huge botch, as Femi then shouldn't have been 2026 King of the Ring. And now JEY USO's even taken to his Instagram stories to saying, wait, he tapped? WWE could definitely follow this up in a storyline. But next up we had the Queen of the Ring final as Io Sky battled Women's World Champion Liv Morgan. Now, before the opening bell, Danhausen made a surprise appearance to a huge ovation. Liv Morgan confronted him, claiming he owed the Judgment Day money, but after Danhausen denied knowing anything about it, he placed a curse on Morgan. That then prompted the champion to slap him before turning her attention back to the match. But once the action got underway, both women traded quick counters before Morgan slowed the pace down with stiff knee strikes and enziguri, and even paid tribute to Dominic Mysterio, well, Eddie Guerrero, with the Three Amigos. But momentum shifted as Sky went for the over-the-moonsault, only for Morgan to shove her from the top turnbuckle, sending a crashing knee first into the steel steps. But despite the damage, Sky refused to stay down. She answered with a breathtaking top rope Spanish fly before connecting with the over-the-moonsault to become the 2026 Queen of the Ring. Obviously, the celebration was short-lived, however, as Sky immediately made it clear that Liv Morgan's Women's World Championship will be her next target at SummerSlam, and now that's been made official. Next up was a brutal steel cage match as Seth freaking Rollins took on Bron Breakker. Now, before the match even began, Rollins emptied the area beneath the ring, throwing every weapon he could find into the cage, making it clear that this would be an all-out war. Once the bell rang, both men traded heavy strikes before Breakker took control with multiple German suplexes, a military press into the steel cage, and a vicious lawn dart that sent Rollins crashing first into the unforgiving steel. But Rollins did fire back with a kendo stick before repeatedly driving Breakker into the cage. But the defining moment came when Breakker climbed to the top of the cage, only for Rollins to meet him up there. In an incredible display of athleticism, Rollins delivered a breathtaking superplex right off the top of the cage, and both men crashed ceremoniously through the table below. Breakker almost stole the victory with a thunderous spear before Rollins stopped his escape attempt. But then moments later, Breakker crashed through another table after missing a second spear. Rollins hit the Triple H pedigree and a curb stomp, but Breakker somehow kicked out. But with nothing else left, Rollins climbed the ropes and delivered a devastating avalanche stomp to finally secure the hard-fought victory. Next up is Trick Williams defending the US Championship against Ricky Saints. And the action began even before the bell as Saints blindsided Williams while he was making his entrance alongside rapper Lil Yachty to a thunderous whoop that trick chant from the Saudi crowd. Probably the only moment they came alive. Saints later paid homage to Eddie Guerrero by smashing Lil Yachty's flashy kendo stick against the steel steps before collapsing to the floor, fooling the referee into believing that Yachty had attacked him, and that actually had him ejected from ringside. With Williams distracted, Saints then took control and targeted the champion's lower back. Williams eventually rallied with a bookend in tribute to Booker T, while Saints answered with a tornado DDT and a top rope elbow drop for a dramatic near fall. And in the closing moments, Williams caught Saints with a sudden trick shot knee strike to retain the championship. And after the match, Saints tried to attack from behind, but Lil Yachty returned wielding a kendo stick before capping off the celebration with an actual people's elbow. Next up is Tiffany Stratton defending the Women's US Championship against Jade Cargill. Stratton came out firing, taking the fight to Cargill as soon as the bell rang. However, the challenger quickly shifted the momentum in her favor, using her power to dominate the champion and repeatedly shut down her offense. Stratton battled back, and from there the momentum swung back and forth as both women exchanged near falls. The closing moments descended into absolute chaos as B-Fab and Mishan rushed to the ringside to back up Cargill, only for Chelsea Green to come out from underneath the ring and even the odds. As the ref dealt with the commotion, Cargill grabbed the US Championship, intending to use it as a weapon, but before she could, Charlotte Flair made her stunning appearance, ripped the title away and blasted Cargill across the head with it. With Cargill reeling, Stratton capitalized by hitting the prettiest moonsault ever to retain the Women's US Championship. And finally, it's time for the main event, as Cody Rhodes defended his championship against Sami Zayn and Gunther. As Zayn, as usual, received a massive hero's welcome from the Saudi Arabian crowd before the action exploded into life. But the match quickly descended into chaos. Rhodes connected with a spectacular double Cody cutter before planting Gunther with crossroads. But just as victory seemed certain, Zayn pulled the referee out of the ring, and moments later, Zayn blasted Gunther with a haluva kick, only for Rhodes to return the favor by dragging the official away before the count. Gunther nearly stole the match by locking Rhodes into a deep sleeper hold, but Zayn rushed back into the ring to stop the referee from calling the bell, forcing Gunther to break the hold and unload a barrage of vicious chops. But after Zayn scored a near fall with the Blue Thunder Bomb, Gunther yanked him into the ring post with a brutal low blow. Somehow Zayn recovered, blasted Gunther with an exploder suplex into the turnbuckle, followed with a thunderous haluva kick, and then capitalized by pinning Cody Rhodes to bring the Kingdom Arena and becoming the new undisputed WWE Champion in one of the most shocking title changes since Jinder Mahal won the WWE Championship. But that was a quick recap of Night of Champions. Now let's look at the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good. Is number 1, a spectacular stage. And with Night of Champions hosting the King and Queen of the Ring finals, the entrance featured massive glowing crowns integrated into the AR presentation above the giant LED stage. WWE also took full advantage of the venue's towering ceilings by constructing an enormous curved LED entranceway, creating larger-than-life superstar entrances and giving the entire show a truly premium feel. From the lighting to the scale of the set, Night of Champions immediately looked and felt like one of WWE's biggest events of the year, continuing the company's reputation for delivering spectacular production whenever it heads to Saudi Arabia. It also helps that they get $10 million for each show. Number 2, King Oba. Oba Femi's King of the Ring victory has quickly become the defining moment of his WWE career. The ruler earned widespread praise after defeating JEY USO, with the win serving as a perfect redemption following his loss to Brock Lesnar at Clash in Italy. Throughout the match, Femi used his size, power, and composed methodical approach to neutralize JEY USO's speed, energy, and trademark trash talk. But more importantly, Femi's triumph is another major success story for WWE's Next Gen program and NXT, reinforcing the company's commitment to building future main event stars from within. But perhaps the biggest takeaway from the tournament is that WWE has now created a fresh, believable main event star. Rather than relying on the same established names, the company now has a homegrown powerhouse ready to challenge either Cody Rhodes or Roman Reigns on one of the biggest stages of the year. Number 3, Queen of the Sky. Io Sky's Queen of the Ring victory is being viewed as a well-deserved reward after one of the strongest in-ring runs in WWE over the past year. While other storylines often stole the spotlight, Io consistently delivered every time she stepped in the ring. Her performance at Night of Champions, battling through a storyline knee injury before capturing the crown, only reinforced her status as one of WWE's premier babyfaces. The victory also sets up a fascinating showdown with Women's World Champion Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. Morgan's character is built around manipulation, opportunism, and avoiding the toughest competition, while Io represents the exact opposite, a fearless, world-class wrestler who lets her performances do the talking. Number 4, thank goodness this has ended. As Seth Rollins' cage victory over Bron Breakker did more than just settle a score, it brought one of the WWE's biggest rivalries that has lasted over 8 months to finally a definitive end. Heading into Night of Champions, the two stars were tied 1-1 in singles competition. Breakker won the first PLE meeting at Backlash, while Rollins evened the series with a victory on the June 1st episode of Raw. With Rollins now winning the rubber match, Cole and Corey Graves declared that both Bron Breakker and The Vision are officially in his rearview mirror, signaling that Rollins can now shift his full attention back up to the main event scene. For Breakker, however, the loss could have lasting consequences. After falling short in a decisive match, what happens to Bron Breakker next? Where does he go from here? And a miracle in Riyadh. Sami Zayn's emotional undisputed WWE Championship victory can be celebrated as one of the most satisfying moments in recent WWE history, and can be called a perfect ending to a story more than a decade in the making. Over the past 10 years on WWE's main roster, Zayn accomplished almost everything except winning the world title. He captured the Tag Championships at WrestleMania 39's main event, ending Gunther's historic IC Championship reign, and became a central figure in the Bloodline saga. Yet he entered Night of Champions with a 0-9 record in world title matches. Earlier this year, Zayn even revealed that his own son had asked why he'd never won the big one. Now, there's some well-deserved praise for Triple H for finally pulling the trigger, with many arguing that delaying Zayn's crowning moment any longer would have been booking malpractice. The match itself earned acclaim for its unpredictable pacing and dramatic near falls, while Cody Rhodes taking the pin made the title change feel even more significant. Adding even more significance, the Riyadh crowd treated Zayn like a hometown hero, while fans around the world celebrated him becoming the first WWE champion of Syrian descent. But that was the good. What about the bad? Is number 1, bad pacing. Despite strong in-ring action, many viewers felt Night of Champions suffered from pacing issues due to the lengthy gaps between matches. Social media was filled with complaints about the constant video packages, repeated SummerSlam promotions, and sponsored segments. Fans inside the Kingdom Arena also appeared to lose some energy during the extended breaks. WWE may want to consider incorporating more live entertainment or exclusive in-ring segments during these pauses, as the downtime is becoming a recurring issue at many of the company's major international events. And number 2, star power couldn't save an underwhelming match. Despite the star power involved, Tiffany Stratton's victory over Jade Cargill received a mixed response. While both women had their moments, the match really struggled to find a consistent rhythm, with several sequences feeling clunky and lacking fluidity. The closing stretch also drew criticism, as the multiple run-ins and outside interference made the finish feel overly chaotic instead of naturally building to the conclusion. It just lasted over 7 minutes and 39 seconds, leaving the impression that the rivalry deserved more time to breathe before reaching such a heavily overbooked finish. There was nothing downright ugly at Night of Champions. It successfully moved several major storylines towards SummerSlam, which is now just 5 weeks away. While Io Sky vs Liv Morgan is currently the only match officially confirmed, the events of the night made several other marquee clashes feel increasingly likely. The show certainly had its moments, with the triple threat main event standing out as a clear highlight, while Seth Rollins also brought his rivalry with Bron Breakker to a definitive end inside a brutal steel cage match. And although the Saudi crowd's energy fluctuated throughout the night, WWE largely got the winners right. The 6-match format continues to work well, but the overall presentation still needs to make these premium live events feel even bigger. But this is what we want in WWE. We need unpredictability. It makes things so much more exciting to watch. But that was our recap and review of Night of Champions. Now let's move on to the news, as our first story looks at WWE being furious. WWE is reportedly dealing with backstage anger after this week's pre-recorded episode of SmackDown leaked online before its scheduled broadcast. The show was taped several days early at London's O2 Arena to allow the roster time to travel to Saudi Arabia for Night of Champions, but the delay actually gave spoilers plenty of time to spread across the internet, including leaking the entire episode of the show. And this was complete with commentary, allowing fans to watch the show before it officially aired. PW Insider noted that the leak created internal unhappiness within WWE, as the company was disappointed that major moments and surprises were revealed ahead of time. The source of the leak currently remains unknown, and there has been no indication that WWE changed the broadcast or storylines because of it. However, the incident has highlighted the risks that comes with taping television several days in advance, especially before major premium live events. Next up, WWE are signing a new Bloodline member. WWE is reportedly preparing to sign independent wrestling standout Zilla Fatu, the son of the late great Umaga. According to Fightful Select, the son of the late Umaga recently visited the WWE Performance Center and was completing the necessary steps ahead of an expected contract signing, with reports suggest that the deal may already be finalized. Zilla has become one of the most talked about prospects on the indie scene and has openly expressed his desire to follow in his family's footsteps by joining WWE rather than signing elsewhere. Obviously, his arrival would naturally fuel speculation about his involvement in the ongoing Bloodline storyline, which has remained one of WWE's biggest factions. And finally, a wrestler passes away at 44. And finally, unfortunately sad news to report, as the wrestling world is mourning the loss of Joe Doering, who passed away at the age of 44 following a lengthy battle with brain cancer. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling confirmed the news after revealing earlier in the week that Doering had entered a hospice care. He had been fighting the illness for nearly a decade after first being diagnosed in 2016, overcoming it once before the cancer returned in later years. Doering built a respected career across several major promotions, including TNA Wrestling and All Japan Pro Wrestling, where he became a 2-time Triple Crown heavyweight champion and earned a reputation as one of the company's top foreign stars. He also spent time in WWE's developmental system before continuing his success elsewhere. Following the announcement of his passing, tributes poured in from across the wrestling industry, with promotions, colleagues, and fans remembering him for both his impressive in-ring achievements and the courage he displayed throughout his long fight against cancer. We'd like to offer our condolences to the Doering family during this time. But there you have it, folks. I'll look at Night of Champions as well as the wildest news stories. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.